Hello there. It's time for Most Things Kenobi. I prefer all things Kenobi, but I suppose that's not the Jedi way. As long as it's not all things Anakin.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Most Things Kenobi, a podcast about Obi-Wan Kenobi and all things Star Wars. I'm your host Leanne.
And I'm your host Lauren.
And this week, we're getting into it.
We have layers.
There's so many layers. It's the Rako Hardeen arc. It's 4 episodes, and there's a lot.
There's a lot. It's a beast of an arc.
And like I texted you, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's truly brilliant. There's a few things that they could have done without, but,
Yeah. Overall,
what they went in and tried to accomplish, they accomplished by the end of the 4th episode in this arc.
Yeah.
I think.
I had forgotten because I hadn't watched it. It's not one I watch that often because it's a little bit depressing.
It really is.
Rewatching it really blew my mind. I texted you. We almost texted each other at the same moment because, of course.
Of course we did. Of course.
We were both watching it separately. And I was just like, this arc is crazy. It's fucking crazy. The places they go and the stuff that they do it's so insane.
Yeah. I mean, the plan that's devised, executed, all with the Jedi's knowledge, the deception involved.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the first episode is called Deception, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And, I mean, okay, just lay it right out there. By the end of when everything comes together, Palpatine's behind the entire thing, and that's just one of his many master plans that he executed just to get Anakin riled up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Fuck.
What politician do you know who is this effective? Holy shit, dude. Palpatine has so many schemes, and the fact that most of them turn out exactly how he meant them to is just...
Well, that's because
fucking
he
crazy.
has friends on both sides,
Yeah.
which really helps. Dooku's a part of it, but Dooku is Sidious's puppet, and the Jedi are a part of this, but they're Palpatine's puppet. And really, none the wiser. And I find it very interesting, some of the things that comes out of Yoda's mouth, out of Mace Windu's mouth, and out of Obi-Wan Kenobi's mouth.
Yes.
Throughout this entire arc. I mean, there's some revealing shit.
They cross lines.
They do. And they know they do. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, well, it's for the good of whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. The ends justify the means. Of course, that's how they always... Although Yoda is feeling less and less like that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, so to lay it out for anyone who needs a refresher or who doesn't know, how does it even start? I mean, how does this, it's a plan.
Yeah, I mean, it's the intro of the very first episode of the arc says that the Jedi became aware of a plan from some criminal mastermind, Moralo Ival, which is a great name, that he's going to kidnap the Chancellor. But they don't know exactly when or where or how, and so they decide to put a Jedi undercover. That's like how it starts.
Yeah.
But then like where the episode starts is just some random Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka walking down the street setting up the entire rest of the episode. But it's just like, it starts, you get dropped into the middle of it, like not knowing what's going on.
And then Obi-Wan puts himself knowingly in a position where he's shot in the shoulder. He falls off this building onto the ground and takes some kind of vital suppressant so that he appears dead, and fakes his own death to Ahsoka, to Anakin, to all of the other Jedi. Satine was at the funeral. They had a funeral.
I know.
And it was fake. The entire thing was fake, but only like a select few knew. Yoda, Mace Windu. I think that's it, right?
I think the 3 with Obi-Wan, those are the only ones who knew. And I'm sorry, side note, like, first of all, who invited Satine? Who
exactly
knew that they were close enough that she should come? And second of all,
precisely,
I want to see the conversation where she finds out he's not dead anymore.
Yeah, we don't even get that.
No, I would like to see that. Like, I would be so angry.
I would bitch slap him across that beautiful face of his. Can you see Satine just like, you know what? Like, I'm talking like a Scarlett O'Hara.
Oh, yeah.
Slap. Like,
take
the glove off. Yes. Take the glove off
Take the
one
glove
finger at a time slowly and then slap.
Yeah.
That's what I'd do if I was Satine.
Oh, my gosh. Warranted. Definitely warranted. That was so shitty.
She's at the funeral. Mm-hmm. Weeping.
Yeah.
And Anakin is just furious, as he should be.
And there's that great moment in that scene where they do a close-up on Anakin, and then they do the little Vader song in the background. Vader's theme plays.
I love moments like that. And he looks so good with his hood up. I mean, he is frightening.
Yeah, seething.
When he lets it boil and bubble up like that. Which is the point. That's half the point of this episode, basically, is to get Anakin going. I mean, that's Palpatine's purpose behind all of this.
A couple of weeks ago, when we did our analysis of the cave scene in Empire Strikes Back, we asked people, like, what are some other things that you don't understand or would like explained out of Star Wars? And Chiara Del Orto, or however you say it, because I feel like I never say her name correctly.
But she said she likes how we say her name, so we must be doing something right.
Hopefully we're getting close. She was saying that this arc was one that she loved. It was like one of her favorite Clone Wars arcs, but that she kind of like didn't understand it or like understand the motivation behind it all, and like why was Palpatine like planning his own assassination attempt. And like the whole point is to test Anakin to see if he's ready to become Sidious's apprentice. So he puts this plan in place, hoping that Obi-Wan going undercover and lying to Anakin would increase the divide between Anakin and the Jedi, which it did perfectly.
It absolutely did.
Completely alienated Anakin. And then the duel between Anakin and Dooku at the end is the moment where you can see the whole time Sidious is like smiling and like enjoying it.
Yes, yeah.
Every time Anakin gets very angry, Sidious is like, yes, that's exactly what I want.
It's going just as I planned, yes.
But he's seeing if Anakin is strong enough to defeat Dooku, then it's time that Anakin becomes his apprentice. But because he doesn't succeed, Sidious knows it's not time yet. That was like the whole purpose of this arc.
Which is unbelievable.
Yeah. What a fucking plan to put in place for that to be like your end result.
And there were moments where Obi-Wan was visibly uncomfortable with the position that he'd been put in, but he still did it. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the Jedi in him.
Yeah.
They're all just trying to save the Chancellor, right? They're just trying to save the Chancellor. Everything's always about the Chancellor.
But in the box, in my opinion, he kept showing himself.
Right. Only a Jedi could do it.
Exactly.
Some of that shit.
And that was the whole point of the box. Chiara was also asking that, like, why is there even the episode of the box? And the point was, Dooku was trying to weed out if a Jedi was undercover in his group. Mm-hmm. And so they didn't know it was going to be Obi-Wan, but they suspected there was going to be a Jedi in there. And so the box was to show. And Obi-Wan did. He showed compassion. He showed leadership. And he was too proficient.
And the sniping trial that occurred, only a Jedi could sense where the next... Exactly. Where it was going to point. So, like, they have that second sense of anticipation.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan is such a finely honed Jedi that, like, none of that was even a task for him. He's mentally astute. He figured out the patterns of those,
laser
those blocks that came out of... Yeah, whatever that was. Can I just say that Obi-Wan gets shaved? Let's start with the most shocking thing of all.
Bald and beardless Obi-Wan.
He's bald and has no beard. Yeah, what is this? I'll tell you what it is. It's Corky.
Oh my God.
That's what it is.
It is. It is Corky. Definitely. And also, we were robbed of seeing him grow his hair back.
Exactly.
It just reappears in the next episode he's in.
He really does look like a young Ewan McGregor without all that hair and the beard and stuff.
Like it's train spotting
like
Ewan McGregor.
Yes, train spotting. Exactly. Yeah. It's like very similar.
I heard though that they used a different model because they said underneath the regular Obi-Wan's beard is not shaped like how he looked without a beard.
Yeah, he kind of resembled a clone. He had more of a clone look to him with a pointed nose.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, in some of the special features, I saw that they had just removed the beard from the original model, and they said it just looked too weird. So they had to like rebuild his face so it looked more like Ewan McGregor. But yeah, I thought that was great. It's so funny you said that, because that was definitely like one of my like bullet points.
See? I knew. It's weird. It's weird to see. We like never see it, and then we get to see it, and he looks, I don't know, like 40 years younger. It's strange.
Yeah, it's so funny. Also, I just want to do like a shout out to James Arnold Taylor's talent.
Exactly.
Because it's insane.
It's unreal that he voices Rako Hardeen.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan. And it sounds so vastly different.
And then there's like that scene, a couple of scenes where he is talking to the Jedi in secret, and he mixes the two.
He does. He has like the politeness.
Yeah.
The cultured accent, not accent, but the cultured speech of Obi-Wan, but with the harshness of Rako Hardeen's. I'm telling you, these voice actors, man.
It's crazy. And then I noticed his voice was one of the, I think it was like the snake in the bar. That was also
I really love that snake. I really love that snake.
It's so funny.
I love the tail that just hands the shot over. I would accept a shot from a snake's tail.
I would not. I would be terrified and run screaming from the building.
Actually, now that I think about it, I completely retract that statement. But if it looked like a cartoon snake from Star Wars, yes, I might accept
that would be different. I just have a note here that vocal emulator thing is gross.
It's terribly gross. The spider that he swallows, does it have to have legs?
Yeah, like,
does it have to?
Could it have been
why did they do that?
Less terrifying looking? Like, ew.
Why is it always a spider leg thing? I can't.
Yeah, no, that was disgusting.
So that's how they changed his voice.
Yeah. When he said, "What an odd sensation," it's like, ugh. Obi-Wan is like super ruthless in this, and like he's too good at it. Right? So I just particularly think of the scene where Anakin and Ahsoka show up to arrest him. And he's laying, like, quote, drunk on the bed. Yes. And Anakin, like, wants to kill him. And it's a moment where Obi-Wan is seeing, like, how un-Jedi-like Anakin could be. And then they drag him out of the room, and he's laughing. Like, drunk laughing.
Yes.
It's just, like, so ruthless and heartless. He's too good at it.
He's too good. And don't forget, so they put him in jail for a time, right? Because he's posing as this bounty hunter.
Right.
And he's getting mocked by a shark.
Yeah, man shark. I don't know.
And he just takes a fork and just stabs right in the hand.
It's such
without
a great
blinking
moment.
an eye. And the squeal that the shark had, like, wah!
Yeah.
Wah! You know, he's this big tough guy. I love it. But, I mean, Obi-Wan played the part insanely well.
Well, and then he says he enjoys playing the villain. Later on, he said, I'm starting to enjoy playing the villain. It's like, you're a little good at it.
Was that just cheeky? Or was that him being cheeky? I hope so.
Yeah, if I was Yoda, I'd be like, concerned.
Yeah. Let's talk about Yoda. What a fucking asshole comment he makes about Anakin to Anakin. When Anakin's like, he senses a connection with Obi-Wan and he's doubted that Obi-Wan's truly dead the entire time. Mm-hmm. Something's not right. Right? And so he's so close to Obi-Wan, I think he calls him his best friend in this episode.
Yeah.
That his death, he didn't sense that connection was totally severed. So he's distrusting everything, and he's still motivated on anger to find and kill the person who allegedly killed Obi-Wan. Mm-hmm. Try and keep up here. When he goes and finds out that Obi-Wan is actually not dead, he approaches Yoda, and Yoda's like, well, we couldn't tell you because you're unpredictable and angry, and we don't like you. It's essentially like what he says to him. Like, now, if I was left out of a project at work and I felt like something's not right about this, I'm usually included in stuff. And I went and approached my boss and I said, hey, I was just curious. It seems like I'm supposed to be in on this project, but I'm not. What's the reason? And my boss said to me, well, we don't trust you. You're hot-tempered and erratic. Sorry. I would be like, fuck you, I'm gone.
Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong. Yoda's right.
No, I'm not saying Yoda's absolutely fucking correct. Spot on.
But, like, knowing that about Anakin, saying that to him is not going to make it better.
No.
It's, like, the wrong way to approach a person who is erratic and emotional. And you see it throughout the entire episode. Anakin's emotions are getting in his way over and
absolutely.
Over. Including, like, when he fights Obi-Wan, he's so emotional. Obi-Wan just bests him very quickly and like puts him in a sleeper hold and knocks him unconscious.
He does.
Because Obi-Wan is like freakishly too level and not like bothered by things. He's just kind of taking every situation as it comes, which is like a little bit too compartmentalized to be normal. But at the same time, Anakin is like so overly emotional that he can't like see the bigger picture. He's just driven by the sense of like wanting revenge. And it's so interesting because right as he's about to kill Rako Hardeen in that fight, he says, "This is for Obi-Wan." And it's like not what Obi-Wan would ever have wanted.
That's not it. Revenge is not the way of the Jedi, right? And that is exactly what was motivating him. And then Ahsoka plays an interesting part in all of this. She's kind of the balance. Yeah. She's trying just to keep up with Anakin, and she's surprised by his reaction, and yet not very surprised. She's seen it before, but like, oh my God, I think it's how do I cool his jets here? But she's also very sad about Obi-Wan being gone, but she's also not so attached that she can't let him be. Like, she's very depressed at the funeral, but she's also like, I worry about my master, Anakin, Yeah. And she protects Anakin from
Cad Bane,
the bounty hunters, and Rako Hardeen.
I love that moment.
Me too. She goes into protection mode, like an actual like mother.
Yeah, like tigress mama.
Yes. Yes. But she doesn't attack. She doesn't do anything. She just protects Anakin while he's down and lets the bounty hunters go. Mm-hmm. And so I think that she represents kind of the balance, which is very interesting because it's kind of a turn of tide. She's mature enough now. Yeah. Where usually it's Anakin trying to calm or dissuade Ahsoka from doing something that, may not be a Jedi-like. But now she's the one kind of in the middle of this, even though she doesn't really know it.
It's so interesting, too, because just a few arcs previous it was the Zygerian arc. And there's that moment where Anakin's going to kill the slaver and Ahsoka goes like, "Master, like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's doing the same stuff again, but she doesn't say anything. It just struck me over and over how she stands there and like, even in her face, she's not being like, "What the hell's going on?" She's just like, this is what we're doing. This is how Anakin plays it, and it's like, yes, it's interesting to see how she would be participating in that and absorbing it and how she turns out later in The Mandalorian.
Oh, absolutely.
She's not a Jedi anymore.
But she's seen both sides and knows what's right, what isn't, and how to handle things. Right. When to use force, when not to, when to negotiate, when not to. It's actually fun to see her mature.
And going by like the ends justify the means is not always the right way. It destroys lives in the process to do that. So yeah, she's such an interesting balance between the two of them. But I will say how interesting it was in that moment where Obi-Wan crashes the ship and then fights with Anakin. How he like outsmarts both Anakin and Ahsoka at the same moment. Yes. And it's I think more so that like, yes, he is a fucking badass, but also he knows them so well.
Oh, he knows he can anticipate their moves. He's with them constantly.
And there's that great moment where he and Anakin lock eyes on the ship where Anakin's on the front of the ship.
Yes.
That's a great moment.
Do you think they sense the connection? Because that moment happens again. Not in this arc, but it happens with like Anakin and Ahsoka multiple times in Clone Wars and then Rebels. Yeah.
I loved that moment.
There's so many things to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many shocking moments in the arc. Just like one after another, like as small as him having to climb into that little escape pod with a dead body.
Yeah, he wasn't about that.
No.
So I wouldn't get in that box. Well, they didn't know it was going to cremation anyway, but they got out in time. That's good.
Well, but like the Rodian's tongue is like hanging out.
Like, yeah.
It's awful.
Why? Those poor Rodians, they always have, their tongues are always out when they die.
It's really,
there's
sad.
A few other Rodians that die and it's like their tongues are out.
It's like just, possums when they play dead, they stick their tongue.
Oh, no.
It's so funny.
I didn't think of that. That's sad.
Well, let's talk about Cad Bane.
Yes, we have many appearances by Cad Bane in one of his best appearances, I think.
I just think he's not fooled from the very beginning. Like,
no, he knows something's up, but he just can't put his finger on it. Yeah. He's too savvy of a bounty hunter. Yeah. And he's come into contact with Jedi before, Obi-Wan specifically.
Yes.
He was onto it. He didn't quite complete the connection.
Well, like Hardeen could just never followed through, right? He could never
he never killed anyone.
Kill anybody. Mm-hmm. He couldn't finish anybody off. And every time Cad Bane tried to do something, it wouldn't work. Obi-Wan just kept getting in the way. And like, I think by doing all of that, he was trying to foil so many plans that it just made Cad Bane not trust him. Not because he didn't think he was trustworthy as a bounty hunter. He thought there was something really suspicious. This guy was not who he's saying he was.
It was definitely sus. And he also mysteriously just came up with some credits to buy a ship.
Right.
Which bounty hunters don't have, like, access to that many credits on a whim. So if you can have access to credits like that, then why do you need a bounty hunter job? That's the thing that always, like, confused me.
Yeah.
These bounty hunters are doing this shit, trying to get to Palpatine and complete this job for money. And here comes this supposed bounty hunter. He's like, I got a few whatever credits to buy a new ship. Cad's like, where the fuck did you get all this money? Like, you know, like, it was a little too Republic-like.
Yeah, the whole sequence on Nal Hutta was strange to me. Like, it's good, I like it, but it's kind of like all over the place at the same time.
Oh, but did you see the guest appearance by Sly Snoodle?
I did.
Did you? I did. I missed that before. But here she comes walking. She is in deep with those huts, I'm telling you.
Seriously, she's drunk walking with those other girls.
Yeah, they were carrying her out like... I said, oh, there's our girl. There she is. It was a cute cameo.
Yeah, I was very happy to see her. She's adorable. But, like, again, he gets taken by, like, the hut security guy, and, like, they're gonna torture him, hanging him upside down. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, upside down.
Kid show, not a kid show.
Yeah, kid show. Total kid show.
And that part where he, like, bangs the staff on the ground and then smashes the thing into the dungeon keeper's face.
Yes. Yes.
That was hot.
I mean, oh, totally. I mean, here, this whole arc, especially the box episode, shows just how damn good Obi-Wan Kenobi is at everything. It is hot.
Yeah.
He outwits, he outsmarts, he outlasts, he outruns.
Yeah.
He's at his finest form.
And he couldn't use the Force. So it was like really showing him as he was without like the augmentation of the Force helping.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could use it on some level, but like he couldn't fight using
pushing, foot fighting, nothing like that.
Yeah. So that like hand-to-hand combat with so many people. Like remember when Boba comes up to him in prison and he just like manages that in 10 seconds or less, and then when he's fighting Moralo Ival in the box, and it's just like
that was no contest.
When he does this to Anakin too, he's just punching the person.
He literally takes 1, 2, 3, 4 punches in the face to these people, and one of them is Anakin. You're right.
It's brutal.
He played the part too well.
Yeah, like he could have been a cage fighter.
Disturbing, but hot. But think about it, okay? This was his chance. Think of all the times this man has been punched in the face, had his face slapped, ground into the ground, thrown against walls, crates, you name it. Yeah. This was his chance to get back.
And he did.
Safely. And he did. Get it, Obi-Wan. Get it.
Well, and I noticed Anakin got electrocuted at least once. Or
twice.
Times. At least twice.
Every episode or just twice in the arc? Because
the
only way that you can suppress Anakin when he's on fire is with electricity.
It's so true.
Oh, but can we talk about Anakin?
Of course, please.
I admire his spirit. Okay?
Yeah.
When they get to Naboo and the plan is rounding out, okay? They're there for a really stupid reason, I think. Some festival of light that, like, the day that Naboo joined the Republic.
Yeah, it's like a laser show, a light laser show.
Although, did you happen to notice the lasers, what they showed a fleur-de-lis, and they showed the Republic symbol, which actually becomes like a version of the Empire symbol. Yeah. So I thought that was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But, so this is when Obi-Wan actually outs himself, because the plan crashes. Dooku almost succeeds, but it wasn't in Palpatine's plan for him to totally succeed. He wanted the Jedi to succeed so that Anakin could go overboard and fight Dooku, right?
Exactly.
So I do enjoy the look that Anakin and Padme give each other.
Oh, yeah.
I love their little looks, you know?
It's adorable.
And then Ahsoka, the daughter they raised together, is like, at your service, Your Majesty.
Yes.
You know, to Padme. And it's actually really cute.
It's so cute. And like to see their relationship, like Padme and Ahsoka's relationship. But
yes.
Then of course, it made me think of something very sad. They're like, when does Ahsoka learn that Padme has died?
That's a good question. I don't know.
And like, that must have been very heartbreaking. I mean, obviously she's already lost everything by the end of season 7.
Yeah, but Padme was definitely like a mother figure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Or a big sister.
They
maybe.
were close. They were very obviously close. And so that, I just made myself very sad when I thought of that.
Yeah, that is sad.
I'm good.
All right, well, let's go back to...
I'm good at sad, you know me.
No, Star Wars is good at sad.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, they excel at it. I gotta say, it all culminates in the fight in that banquet room where Dooku is waiting for Anakin and Palpatine.
The fake
Anakin's
dinner.
supposed to be... Yeah. Anakin's supposed to be escorting Palpatine out, and Palpatine walks him right into the trap that he set for him. And they duel, and Anakin is so recklessly angry.
Yeah.
You can really see just like the power, the dark side power, I should say.
Yeah.
That comes out of him because he's not fighting with control, with the grace that Jedi fight with.
Yeah.
He's not in defense mode. He's in complete attack mode.
Yeah. Very aggressive.
And when the chair, Dooku, okay. Did you happen to notice this? Dooku throws a chair at him. Mm-hmm. Dooku throws silverware at him. And I was getting visions of Vader throwing like HVAC pieces at Luke in that carbonite room.
Yeah.
And he's throwing shit at Luke. Like, so there's a parallel there, but...
That was smart parallel. I didn't actually notice that. It's brilliant.
I just like, if you got stuff laying around, you might as well throw it at a Jedi, right?
Yeah, I mean, it throws them off their game.
Yes. And Anakin double fists his lightsaber into that thing and just is like so teeth gritted angry, and Palpatine's just like, this is going splendidly.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, and then later when he's got him down on the stairs, you know, he gets Dooku back, and then he forgoes the lightsaber and tries to crush him with it, like goes to choke him personally.
I was turned on and scared all at once. It's one of those moments I would love to have been Dooku. And at the same time, I would have been very frightened to be Dooku. I'm just laying it out there, folks. You know how I am. But yeah, he said, "Fuck this lightsaber! I'm gonna choke him."
He was so angry.
Yeah,
and
he's got that metal hand.
Well, that
so
makes it,
why not use it?
Yeah, even better. It did stop a few forks earlier in the...
Oh, yeah, he takes a fork out of his arm. I forgot about that, yeah. Well, damn.
And this anger has been building over the 4 episodes, you know, and it's like...
And he's had no outlet.
No.
He didn't get to kill whoever killed Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan's alive. He can't yell at the Jedi Council. And Palpatine's the only one feeding him any compliments.
Yeah.
You were the smartest one here. You were the one that saved me. If it wasn't for you, I don't know what I would have done. You know, he's giving him all the things like, that sounds like the council doesn't trust you, but I trust you with my life. Like,
yeah. Dropping all the little seeds. Mm-hmm.
All the things that Anakin wants, it's fucked up. It's brainwashing.
Yeah.
Gaslighting, manipulation.
Yeah. It's perfectly timed. And the part where Obi-Wan admits to Anakin that it was his idea to leave Anakin out is like one of the most painful moments.
Crushing.
Because then it's like, well, Palpatine's not wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like everything
I know.
All of the doubt that he's seeding in Anakin is not really lies. And that's why it's so easy for it to take root in Anakin. That was just, to me, it was just like, it's so heartbreaking that the person you think is your best friend would know your greatest weakness and use it against you to convince your enemy of something. Like, that would break trust forever.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I would have to... it would take me a very long time to process that, if I could process it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's betrayal on a different level.
Yeah.
A level that's deeper, I think.
It's very personal.
And does Anakin not say, like, how do you even know it's the truth?
Yeah.
The whole truth that the Jedi Council is keeping from people. If they're keeping it from one, they could be keeping it from all. And Obi-Wan has a moment of doubt. You can see it.
Yeah. They used it as a way to, like, have him resolve his open-ended arc, but I wish they had brought it back into more of like Obi-Wan realizing that it's not just about this story arc, it's about all of the Jedi, that like maybe you're also being lied to. And you could kind of see that in Revenge of the Sith when he asks Anakin to spy on the Chancellor, and Anakin's like, why are you asking me to do this? And Obi-Wan says, the Council's asking you. You can tell Obi-Wan is just kind of like, I don't feel okay with it, but everybody's saying you have to do it, so you got to do it.
Right.
I've picked my side, kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
It's very heartbreaking because you think that you have this personal connection and that that person would never betray you, and then they choose to betray you for the greater good.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really disappointing to me.
It's what makes this episode more than just Obi-Wan posing as a bounty hunter in this grand scheme of the Jedi versus Dooku and, his plot.
Yeah.
It runs deeper because it really brings to the surface the problem that Anakin holds on to going into Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. And with Ahsoka's leaving not very long after this, just compounds on it even more.
Yeah. It's so interesting, too, because each character, well, at least I'll say Obi-Wan and Anakin, it shows their, I want to say duplicitousness, but it's not even that. It's more that, like, they have this double-sidedness, right? Where, like, they're showing Obi-Wan, like, in his prime. He is, like, achieving all this insane stuff throughout this episode while doing this terrible thing to his best friend. And Anakin he's trying to be a good Jedi, and, like, they won't let him. It's like everything is being pushed. You want him to succeed. You want him to, and he can't because he's hitting this wall that the Council is putting up. So it's like you can see both characters are both good and bad. Like Anakin gets in his own way with his anger and his emotion. I don't know. It's very interesting to feel like you like these characters so much, and it's hard to see them doing these things that are really not good things. For both of them.
Absolutely. And it's good to have stuff like this in characters because nobody's perfect, right? And here we have Obi-Wan, who we've described as a model Jedi, but he's done some shit and we see it.
Yeah.
And it raises the question, what is the Jedi Council doing? Like,
right.
It goes back to what they allow and what they don't, and when they allow it to work for them. Because some of the shit that Obi-Wan ends up doing in a bunch of these episodes, I mean, he's under the guise of somebody else, but he would never do it, and they wouldn't allow him to act that way.
Yeah.
But it's okay, because he's undercover, and they're trying to do something for the Chancellor, and it's always they just bend it a little bit whenever it's convenient for them, and that troubles me, too.
Well, and, like, what happens to the real Rako Hardeen?
Yeah.
They, like, use him as a patsy, and then, like, put him to sleep, and they never come back to it. It's like, did you ruin his life? Did you, like, set him free in some, like, far planet where he can build a new life for himself? Like, what the fuck was that?
Probably. I don't know. We'll worry about that later. Right now we have to deal with this. Like,
and speaking of that, it makes me kind of wonder, because at the very end, Cad Bane is, like, so angry at Obi-Wan. It made me wonder, like, it would be kind of cool if he shows up in the Kenobi series.
Yeah, I could see that. Ooh, it would be a fan favorite, I think.
He would definitely, like, have it out for Obi-Wan. That was, like, a very personal fuck you.
Yes. There's a lot of people that could come knocking on poor Obi-Wan's door. That reminds me. His code name, as he's posing as Rako Hardeen, is Ben.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if they'll ever explain it in canon. I know there's, like, a reference to it in some book where he said it was like a personal thing between him and Satine, but I believe that book is not canon.
On this show, we like to think otherwise. We make our canon whatever we want it to be.
Yeah, we make it.
We're like the Jedi Council. We pick and choose what we want to have at the time that is most convenient to us.
Yes.
Okay?
It's our own little sandbox we play in.
It is. Our question this week is, if you've seen this arc that we just talked about, do you think it was wrong for Obi-Wan to deceive Anakin like he did? And do you think it was wrong that the Jedi Council just did any of this?
Yeah.
Like, did you think there was a problem with this? Or do you think there was a better manner that this could have been done?
Or are we way off the mark? Is this the only way this could have happened?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are arguments for the other side of things, but...
Absolutely, and if you have them, let's hear them.
Yeah, convince us, because I'd be interested to hear an opposing viewpoint. Next week, come cry with us. Get your box of tissues. We are going to go through the massive list of all the terrible things that have ever happened to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes. We're going to start with Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And we're going to go through the original trilogy.
And I think we can get through them all in one episode, although we might, we might not be able to because there's so much shit. But
some of them are very similar to one another. We could lump them into groups of like, this is when he was beaten to a pulp, and this is when he was, left for dead. And
there are so many beaten to a pulp moments.
So, maybe we can group them as we go.
Yeah. On last week's episode, we discussed Salacious B. Crumb, the one and only pet/court jester of Jabba the Hutt, and we asked our listeners what they thought Salacious was saying to Jabba to make him laugh every single day. Our friends over at the Conversations podcast left an incredible response that has to be shared. They said, "What could Salacious be saying? Maybe a limerick? There was once a Jedi from Tatooine who blew up the Death Star as a teen. He trained with a frog in a stinky old bog, and now the Rancor's going to strip his bones clean." Wow, I don't even know what to say. It's incredible. And yes, I asked, they did make that up all by themselves.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the Most Things Kenobi podcast. Remember to follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast player. Plus, you can always find us over at mostthinkskenobi.com.
So, until next time, my space twin, may the Force be with you.
Always.